What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven. It's been a while. It's been a while, guys. If you haven't noticed with the economy, I've been a little busy. I'm also going to be hopefully moving to Germany in a few months, trying to finalize all of that. So, but, yeah. Wow. I just spent I think 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes watching Nefasqs. And there's a lot to unpackage here. Listen, we have our beef. I mean, honestly, you're now watching the toxic casual. Whatever. I have kind of skimmed over this, and I'm not going to play everything, but here's the thing. Just in general, everybody was crying about difficulty, even me, right? So people expected harder content, right? I mean, hell, even Nefasqs here did a video. I did a commentary on it, even agreeing with a lot of his points. But the way the combat team has decided to address it was how? To address the combat itself. Why? Because it saves time. Like I said in the video that I did, at one time there were no normal and vet versions of raids or trials. There were just trials, right? At one time. That's how it was. There was still hard mode. But yeah, there were no normal and none of that. You went in to clear or you didn't clear. That was just the name of the game. And it was harder. The game was. So you went to Craglorn back in the day. Shit, that shit would just kill you. And you just die. Right? So the game has gotten easier. But here we are. Because, looky, they're like carries. Back in the day, you couldn't do carries anyways. Nobody was carrying your goddamn ass. You either were participating or it wasn't going to happen. I get people's complaints, but everybody circles the end game. And you can hear him talk about it. The end game players. Everybody associated the end game to trials. Was never the end game in Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls was literally what you decided to do to progress your character in that, association. That's why they had single player arenas along with trials, along with PvP, along with, vet dungeons in these feats, right? That's why. You get to choose what you want to do for the end game, for your end game. How far, what you basically, like a checklist of everything you've done on the hardest content. That was pretty much the end game, if you wanted to associate that. So now we have people whining. And we'll get into this.
On continually lowering the ceiling.
So if anybody wants to know, this is about a Discord carry provider ending their service due to the next update. Now I have not been on the PTS because I haven't been playing Elder Scrolls. Since that new chapter was announced and I went on PTS, I was very not impressed, to be honest. And I said we're going to take hits. Don't listen to the gatekeepers. Listen to the professionals, the people who have been alpha testers since the conception of the MMO genre. That's what would be my recommendation.
The largest mass exodus from the endgame. And therein lies a problem. Skilled endgame players leave, and they're not runners with the skill set or ability to perform carry runs, replacing them at the same rate. It's been pretty steady.
Carry runs. not be able to replace carriers. You know, I never went in for a carry one fucking day in this fucking game, nor would I ever ask for a fucking carry. If I do it, I do it, and if I don't, I don't. Fuck that. Should never be any carries anyways. This shit should have been banned. At one time, you weren't allowed to do this type of shit. Then Zoss just kind of like got lazy with it and said, we don't care.
And I've observed it in other carry servers as well. Just for a metric, over the course of the last patch, 600 characters have cleared VRG hard mode, not 600 accounts. That means 50 groups. And most likely, some of those characters are on the same account. That content has been out for over a year now, and still such a low amount of people completing it. And every change Zoss makes has taken what people enjoyed and butchered it, despite pushback from the community. They've been trying to get nerf light attacking for a while now, and they'll probably just force this change through. Almost 4 years.
Now, I will say the light attack nerf, and I've been keeping up with this, is somewhat problematic as far as rotation. But, you know, they've also changed the timers to the dots. So with the extended dot duration, you would have actually think they just would have put, you know, decreased, you know. I think what Gilliam's doing, you have to give Gilliam a little leadway in the combat team. I think they understand what needs to be done. They're just trying to get it to the point where it can be implemented without having to make multiple alterations later. Like in this video, he'll say, well, people said recommend the sets or whatever. Let me see if there's any. No. Okay, we're good.
Years ago, Zoss made light attack weaving a significant part of the gameplay, upping the damage sword skills and introducing sets that rewarded. Relic with anyone? They've also introduced sets, buffs, and debuffs that continually push damage upward. They've also made DPS checks that are dependent upon high damage. Instead of adjusting items to bring damage.
What DPS check? There's no fucking goddamn DPS check. Literally, the one guild I'm in, we literally sit there and keep fucking with a raid boss in Vet just to see how many times you can cycle through the fucking mechanics. DPS check my ass. Shut the fuck up. When's the last time you guys ever actually had it wipe the entire board if you didn't make the DPS? Try a while. I've always said this, you know, ESO players, when it comes to like rating or whatever, are little whiny bitches. They've never experienced H crew fucking get it down. We got 3 seconds, 2, 1. We didn't make it. Boom. Even Final Fantasy has that. And then shut the fuck up. Moving on.
Damage down. They reversed course of light attack weaving and homogenized all the class rotations, essentially 20 and 30 second dots, plus 15 and 20 spammables. I've watched some parses on the PTS, and the fast-paced gameplay that has drawn many to ESO has been gutted completely, so people can focus on the mechanics. They've worded
okay. So you complain about the content being too easy. I just said that. But now when you take DPS down, now the combat's not fun, and now the content's harder.
To help newer players, but it is an excuse to nerf DPS overall. On average, you will lose about 20 to 40k DPS depending on the class. It looks like Necro and Sork were nerfed before the hardest from what I've seen. In short, the PTS patch notes have created a vacuum in the Indian community, especially with skilled players who can do carries. Organizing and facilitating.
Well, skilled players who can do carries. These reading. This is not his opinion. This is what these reading.
People here have moved on from ESO.
Oh my!
We've had a very good run. The 1.5 years we've been in business, and with over 3,000 carries completed, that was 25 billion gold worth of transactions. I appreciate all people who have volunteered to help and make the Discord the massive success it was. It would not have been possible without you guys. If you're someone who's still looking to buy runs or get paid to do runs, I'd suggest checking out Sem for those needs. And you know, I'm currently the guild. I'm currently the guild master of Sem.
Yeah, look. He's the guild master of the guild that does paid carries. my god. Way to promote yourself. Hey, I help carry players. And yet, the toxic casuals, he burns the community, and yet he's getting rewarded to supply a gatekeeping charge to go through him to be able to play the content. Did I just hear that right? I don't know.
So, this was community for the past week.
Wow.
And yeah, and I'll
stranger things have happened.
Because a lot of people are like servers and fucking starting shit, going to the YouTube comments, starting shit. I have never
starting shit.
The amount of stuff, the amount of vitriol that I've encountered this past week is pretty amazing in itself.
Oh, of course.
Because it's like, okay, so far, let me list the insults, and you can find these on wherever, YouTube.
Okay, people are insulting him. Hey, we're content creators. Now, now everybody here who's been a part of my channel for years knows how he created his channel. Right or wrong. He created his channel. His channel is completely it got its renown coming at me. When I questioned Gilliam before he became, a lead for Zos. Now, me and Gilliam, we don't have hard feelings. I appreciate Gilliam being at the capacity he's at. I wish him nothing but good fortune. Same thing here with Nefasqs. But Nefasqs and his little gang have constantly trolled me, even when I've done clears on any content. If I've ever done streams on any content or done clears on any content, these little bitches have constantly harassed me my entire ESO career. Not that I cared. Now he's all butthurt. Whoa, people were like being mean to me. It comes with the territory. Duh. You're going to get trolls. You're going to get clout chasers. That's part of the territory. Suck it up, Buttercup. Moving on.
Wherever. It doesn't matter. Right? I've been called this past week racist.
No.
Homophobic.
I don't know
which
why.
is ironic because some of these people are calling me chink, which is a slur.
What? Yeah.
For Asians. Because...
Now see, that's bullshit.
I'm sure you guys know. I've been called a toxic elitist.
Okay, so that is what the stuff I'm talking about, like toxic elitist, gatekeeper, not the derogatory shit. That's all. That's unacceptable at any level. Nobody should be fucking with people in that.
I've been called a gatekeeper.
I just yeah.
Skinny was called an ableist for some fucking reason. Apparently, just
you know what, Skinny most of the time don't have whatever, but he definitely he's not an enabler. And he doesn't cause a lot of beef. The thing about Skinny, though, I mean, he definitely he leads people to believe that this is the way they do it, the absolute way. So I still had a challenge for him, but he never stepped up. I put the challenge out there for all of them. Whatever.
Because he doesn't agree with the patch notes. He's not just a whiner. He also hates disabled people. And when I saw that, I was pretty infuriated because
that would piss me off
against
too.
me because it's like
I'll stick up for people. Nefasqs is toxic, but the thing about it is Nefasqs is never going. He doesn't know who's playing what, and he's never coming at a player. I've never seen Nefasqs come at a player based on, where you live, who you are. I've never seen Nefasqs do any of that. So I'm going to stick up for Nefasqs on this and say that is bullshit. Nefasqs is toxic. I'm toxic too. I can be toxic too. But the simple fact of it is them going down that hole, Nefasqs has never done that bullshit. Nefasqs doesn't care about how you identify, how anything. The only thing he cares about is what's going on in this game. and he'll pick on people's skill. I mean, we have videos of him, getting, trying to fuck with other content creators before, and they reckon him and stuff in PvP, and then he gets all butthurt, but at back in the day. So the biggest thing about it is he never cared about. I've never heard him say any derogatory comment. So I'm just saying.
I guess I'm very polarizing. So when I saw that having the skinny, I was like, man, if you.
Then there's something going on there. Let me make sure I got any comments. Yo, what's up, Mystic You Rock? What's up? Hey. How's it going? Thank you.
For fucking skinny, I have no chance. I have no fucking chance.
I'll call anything out how it is.
I've never even other raiders the worst thing you can do. People, it's gonna end up in player fatigue. It's gonna end up honestly alienating a lot of people who've come to ES over to combat as well. I mean, I understand that there's a casual demographic that doesn't really give a shit about combat. That's
you see what I'm saying? Right there is what Nefasqs does that gets himself in some deep shit. When he wants to know, people say I'm toxic, right? People claim I'm toxic. Dude, you didn't even listen to yourself before you spoke. Listen.
Okay. And whatever we saw from the combat preview post and whatever we saw from the patch notes, we predicted. We predicted every single thing. We predicted, okay, these changes are ass, right? Respectively, respectfully.
Make it harder, but this is ass. Okay, got it.
It's going to be so boring. Newer players won't be able to handle it because you have to adjust so much to conform to the new play styles. It won't be intuitive, as with a lot of combat changes. It's going to burn out a lot of people. It's going to end up in player fatigue. It's going to end up, honestly, alienating a lot of people who've come to ES over to combat as well. I mean, I understand that there's a casual demographic that doesn't really give a shit about.
You see what I'm saying? There's a casual demographic. Jesus, this man doesn't know when to shut the fuck up.
Pissed me off too, a lot. To the point where, you know what, these motherfuckers are saying, despite all we've done, despite all the things we've done with the Project Vitality, which I'll also kind of go.
I'm not worried about his pet project.
And that's okay, because a lot of people did not like the idea of hybridization. I was okay with it. I supported devs completely on that. I supported devs in a lot of things.
I think they did really good with the hybridization, because I was never able to pull off a quarter of the stuff until they later on implemented it. I think it's really cool. I think how you adjust your stats based on your race and your class with the armor sets gives unique variations to builds. I'm not gonna lie, prior to quitting playing ESO, I thought Gilliam and the combat team nailed that, hands down.
That I both agree and disagree with. That's fine, because I can see that they have some sort of vision, right? Some sort of goal in mind, some sort of thought process where they said, okay, this is what we want, and this is how we can do it. Okay, fine. But with the update 35 patch notes, that was the very first time in over 8 years of me playing the game where I felt like for the first time ever, I couldn't see the vision. Chronic shit I've ever seen in my life. It's always the play how you want people always going after us because we just want to play how we want. To the changes. It has become a significant part, I think, of a lot of people's lives in terms of the social function, in terms of the enjoyment, in terms of a side hobby, in terms of an activity with friends. And that's great. I don't know many other games that I know of that could have provided me with a home. But it's fucked up when it feels like I don't have a home anymore. It feels like everybody fucking hates me or everybody fucking hates us simply because we just want to play how we want, which is the most pure.
We want to. We want to play how we want, but we're going to trash you if you don't play how we play. Hello! Ding, ding, ding! From the horse's mouth, y'all. From the horse's mouth.
Ironic shit I've ever seen in my life. You know?
It is ironic.
How you want people always going after us because we just want to play how we want.
Right. Oh.
And for supposedly,
I feel the pain. I feel your pain, brother. I feel it. I feel it. Hallelujah. What's up, man? Firestream. I agree with what you're saying. Thank you, man. Thank you.
well,
Hey, I'm just using the ammo he's given me.
We're being included a lot, and that's where a lot of the frustrations and feelings are coming from. It's not that we hate, or at least the more rational ones. It's not that we hate anyone or
How many? Moving on.
we hate devs automatically. It's just that, like, we're just tired. we're just tired, honestly. And we're 160 raid leads. You do the math here, real quick.
Okay, so he's talking about the raid leads coming down,
and the more upper tier players,
right?
Where the raid leads, and this kind of goes back to the Project Vitality. So last month we peaked at around 240 raid leads across 6 different platforms and servers.
240.
As of this week, since the patch notes were announced, that has gone down to 160 raid leads.
160. Here's the thing. I've always said this game is casual. I liked it when Nef came out with the video calling me toxic casual. I'm like, the game in its essence is casual. The man, Matt Firer, has said multiple times, this is not a hardcore game. It's not. It's not a hardcore MMO. Why? Because they don't have weekly lockouts. At all. You can farm your entire set in less than a week if you want to. Jesus Christ. Sorry. My bad. Forgive me. Forgive me. But jeez. Oh my God. Oh boy.
You do the math here, real quick, chat. The raid, please give us some love. That's basically that ESO. But this seems a bit much more.
And then I think down here.
So yeah, I mean, again, what changed my mind? Because I was just gonna fucking sit back and relax and eat some popcorn, honestly. Because the amount of harassment I'm getting.
I feel you, man. I feel you. You getting harassed? You getting trolled? Man, why would people do that, Neff? Like, why? You're the most beloved content creator in this game.
And it's like, it's not even in-game players, by the way. That's the fucked up part. It's just these people that say, "Hey, man, I'm like concerned or scared about the next patch because right now I'm hitting 60k DPS on dummy, and I'll probably hit 40k on the dummy next patch or some shit." And they're asking me if there's a like a hope or some shit. I'm just like, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Again, it's just not really good right after a major chapter, in my opinion, to reset everybody. I think do that for chapters in a better, softer way. But
I can agree with
after
that.
a new trial comes out and after everyone's kind of like the dust has settled but now it's gonna kick back.
But they did that last year with
know?
hybridization too. You know, they have limited resources, so they got to work with what they got in a timeline.
It's hard for me too. It's like I also lose a lot next patch in a sense too, outside of the game, because not only are players losing interest in the game, and that of course affects my revenue or Lucky Ghost's revenue or whose ever revenue, right? That also builds fatigue for us too, man.
Yeah, because you got to keep putting out builds based on the combat changes, right?
Person. But like I know a fair amount of content creators. One of them being my good friend Pure Turbo. The reason why he stopped making builds is because every 3 months or every 2 months, depending on the PTS cadence, was constantly changing combat updates that invalidates all the work you put into tier crafting. Hard to. It's just like everyone's just basically saying this video you put out, this video you spent maybe a day and a half putting together, it's fucking pointless. And man, that's tough, man. Ending every 3 months because for some reason we're always told that we have to suffer a bit for less changes later, but it just feels like man, I don't know, we're like especially as a content creator, it just feels like there's like all for nothing on it.
It is all for nothing. That's the motto. It's all for nothing. See, the thing about it is, and I suggest people watch the video, don't troll him like I'm trolling him here. He says, oh, people say I'm a gatekeeper. Nef, you are. You even admit you do carry runs. You went after multiple content creators. Me included. And personally, what goes around comes around. You ask for harder content because you claim it's too easy. There's an old saying, shut up. Sometimes you get what you ask for. So don't whine when it's received. You claim it was too easy, and now the devs go ahead and give you what you've asked for, and now you all are whining about it. You said you wanted harder. The devs can make it harder. They don't have to change the content. They can just change the combat. Ta-da! It's harder now. Congratulations, we've delivered to you. So why are you guys beating down the devs? Why? Because you're toxic. You're the one that asked for it. You all asked for it. Now you're surprised when they deliver. You weren't expecting them to deliver that resolution, but it doesn't matter. They gave you what you asked for. I've been doing this since the beginning. I've tested for so many companies. I have been involved in so many projects. And I always tell the devs, the best thing that you can ever do is try to avoid power creeping, right? But the problem of it is most MMOs do power creeping by what? Increasing levels. Elder Scrolls here, power creeping was through what? The champion system, right? So by addressing these issues, and to be honest with you, they should have scaled the champion system more rewarding, in my opinion, and less on, you know, how it affected the initial combat or defensive capabilities. I always felt like the best part of Elder Scrolls was the gear design, the unique implementation, what each set offered. Now, of course, now they have these new mythics, and in my opinion, I feel like that was even the biggest debacle, or a very lazy approach at, you know, keeping people like the carrot on the stick technique, knowing that they're going to gut that mythic sooner or later. And I was like, that is so lazy for progression. That the mythic system in this game was, to me, the most utter laziness I've ever seen implemented as far as a feature. It was utterly just garbage. But I think the devs and Gilliam and all of them, they've seen the error of their ways and are trying to get it back into a demographic where builds are more, you have more accessibility for builds. And even Nefasqs is like, well, it'll be easier for me to make builds now. You know, I don't have to. Yeah, why do you think? Because they want more players to have more accessibility at different configurations. You're the one that's pigeonholed players for years that this is this, and this is this, and this is that, and it's the only way to do it. The entire time aggravating the devs, where they've nerfed those sets. They kept having to nerf this, nerf that, and then, you know what? The devs kind of light bulb went off. Gilliam and them said, you know what? We're approaching this the wrong way, because instead of just nerfing each of these sets, why don't we take the combat down so each of the other sets become more viable, where we don't have to. Hello? Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And now, oh my God, we can't carry people because everybody matters now in our trial runs. Welcome to old school ESO. Because that's the way it used to go. Duh. Anyways. Yeah, I had to do a take. I had to come in and do a take because Nef is getting... I'm to claim I'm a gatekeeper. Nef, you've been the gatekeeper of this game. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody. Matter of fact, years from now, when you're gone, you'll be known as the content creator who started his career coming after me and being the gatekeeper for the game the entire duration. That's how your legacy is going to end. You were never, ever for the community. You were always about yourself. And now people are just realizing that. I wish you nothing but the best, though. Peace.